So what makes more money over the border now, drugs or people? What's his job exactly? What ages of people?
He's asking, well, how can a parent give up their child just to anybody and let their child go alone?
What is the hardest part of the job? What kind of money is in it? What's up with sex trafficking right now?
He says what all these bracelets here put on the people, so they're able to track them, where they're headed to, where they're going down the pipeline. They could kill you, they could beat you, charge you a fine. What they're trying to tell these people, you're not gonna do anything without my permission. He says that the police are mixed up with the cartels.
Nosotros podemos cobrarte.
Good afternoon, guys. Well, I got quite a video coming to you in just a couple minutes time. I'm gonna meet someone that works independently as a contractor under a cartel. And if I seem a bit relaxed, it's because we were going to do it in Mexico and now we're doing it here in McAllen. I have to have my phone shut off. We have to meet in a public place. And what are we gonna get into? Well, it's not just happening below the border here. Human trafficking is happening in the States. And so when migrants come over, there's a whole network, there's a whole business model, there's a whole industry, and that's what we're gonna learn about very soon. And I'm gonna see how far, I don't wanna press boundaries, but I'm gonna see how much information I can get about this, let's call it industry, that really none of us know about. Should be interesting. Okay, let's do this. I was driven to a location unknown to me. My phone was shut off. The name I called the trafficker Tony is not his real name. His face was covered and his voice altered for this video. All right, guys. Here we are. And Raul, he's gonna translate. And this is Tony. And I think we just want to start it off by like, what does Tony do exactly?
Yeah, this is exactamente Tony.
Yo trabajo independientemente de Norteamérica.
Okay, basically what he's saying his job is, he's an independent, you could say contractor, that gets paid by the cartel to bring people, they bring people across into Texas. Once they get to their destination in Houston, it's up to them where they go or what they do.
Okay, so...
But he also said that he works very different from everybody else. He does get paid for what he does. Okay. He says, I do it to help out people out, even though I do get paid. And my job is to get them to wherever they're trying to go.
Who are his clients right now?
Más o menos, ¿quiénes son sus clientes ahorita? ¿Como gente de dónde?
Yo prefiero trabajar más con mexicanos y quitarte el trabajo que tú hiciste.
Okay. Basically, what he's saying is that he prefers to work with with Mexicans instead of people from other countries. Okay. And the reason why he prefers to work with them, with Mexicans that are trying to come into the United States instead of people from other countries, is for the simple reason that a lot of times they don't pay or they have problems with them once they get to their final destination and stuff like that. So he prefers to work with Mexicans or people from Mexico.
Okay, so can you explain the term human trafficker? Because I think of something terrible, right? Like, is it basically just you take money from someone's paying you directly, and you're getting them from point A to point B? Is that the story, or?
¿Cómo exactamente jala tu trabajo?
Mira, el punto A empieza en México.
Everything starts in Mexico.
Okay. El punto B es de aquí.
Point B would be here in the valley.
The valley being right over the Rio Grande River, McAllen, Texas.
Southern tip of Texas.
Okay.
El punto por aquí por el valle.
Basically, he could work either here in the valley or work in the Laredo area. Even though it might belong to somebody else, since he's an independent contractor, he could work for anybody with any different cartel or whoever's willing to pay him to do something.
So the cartel contracts him?
Yes.
Okay. And they say, Tony, we need what, like one person, a van of people? How does this work?
Exactamente, cuando te hablan, ¿cómo te dicen? Necesito una persona.
Es de 5 personas a 8 personas. No puedo.
He rather do from 5 to 8 people at a time. He does not like doing a bunch of people at one time. That way he doesn't get heat in the long run. or get, you know what, draw too much attention, where they start watching him, whether it's the government from here or the government from Mexico, or just somebody in general.
So most people think, when they think trafficking, at least I did, I thought it only happened mostly below the border. But does Tony say there's a lot going on in the U.S. right now?
Cuando él pensó de gente moviendo.
Las personas que ahorita están llegando como...
He's saying that he cannot judge anybody for wanting to come to the United States.
Okay.
But all these people that are coming from all these other countries to the United States,
yep,
they're drawing attention to him and his job. They're drawing heat to him and his job, because they're creating too much attention. For example, with the media, with the Mexican military, the United States military, the just Border Patrol in general. So like I said, he can't judge anyone. They could come over here because they're being allowed to. But like I said, it does make his job harder.
What's his job exactly? Does he drive? He picks up people in one location, drives them himself to the end point?
Okay, basically what he's saying, his job is to transport people. Once they get off the river, whoever's holding them off the river, and there's no more Border Patrol or anybody else around, he'll pick them up. He'll bring them back to whatever location. Once he brings them to the location, he'll feed them, give them clothing, whatever they need. Meanwhile, he's waiting for the other transportation to pick up these people, whether it's to take them to Laredo. From Laredo, they go up north, or if it's to take them here in the valley, whether it's just take them up north directly from whatever location they're at.
And that's it.
Basically, he's the middleman between the valley and the rest of the United States.
What ages of people? All ages, or?
Como la gente que tienes, más o menos, ¿qué edad tiene?
La gente puede llegar de...
His basically the age they deal with is from 16 to maybe about 60, 70 years old. He has gotten old people before. He has gotten sick people before, and they have gotten to their destination. But his thing is not back to the flux that's happening right now with the unaccompanied minors and stuff. Because as we've discussed, those roam freely after they get to Border Patrol.
Yeah.
So these are the other people that don't want to get caught.
Yeah, because they're Mexicans.
Yes.
Right now there's a policy other than Mexicans can be let into asylum.
Right now there's a 100-day policy set by Biden when he took over, saying for our first 100 days is no deportation for other than Mexicans, OTMs, for other than Mexicans. So like I said, his job is to get those Mexicans that want to come in.
So this policy is good for his business right now.
In a way, yes, but like he said, it creates the tension where you have more people, more equipment, more everything that hinders him from doing his job.
Gotcha. So why does he do it?
¿Por qué le haces?
Yo, necesidad de trabajo, necesidad y llegando mucha gente.
He says that he does it for the necessity. It's a job to him.
Because there's a huge influx the last few months. What does he think about that?
Como
What's going on
ha
at the
venido
border?
tanto gente en estos meses.
Tanto para el gobierno de Estados Unidos.
What he's saying is that, you know what, he's no one to judge. That, like he said, people come to the United States, but at the end of the day, they're saying they're fleeing their country because of violence and all this stuff. Well, if they're fleeing their country due to violence, he's asking, well, how can a parent give up their child just to anybody and let their child go alone, make their journey from South America to the United States? He's saying, you're taking the risk of something happening to your child, whether they're being kidnapped, raped, or something happening to them, drowning in the river or something, because you don't know. So how can people use that excuse, say, hey, I'm leaving my country, or I'm doing this for this reason?
So does Tony have any kids?
¿Tiene niños?
Sí, 5.
He has 5 kids.
Okay. And what does he think about the border and customs protection right now?
¿Qué piensa de migración y...?
La gente que vengan ahí, ellos están haciendo buen trabajo en plan y no vengan haciendo destrozos.
Okay. What he's saying, you know what? That he praises Border Patrol and everybody for doing their job. They're doing an excellent job. That's coming from him.
He likes them.
Yes, he has nothing against them. You know, they're doing their job.
They're not his enemy in any way?
They're not his enemies. So he's saying they're doing a great job and everything, but at the end of the day, it's not only Border Patrol's problem. these people that are coming to the United States, OTMs, other than Mexican, they're causing problems all throughout their country while traveling this way, causing problems all through Mexico. And he's glad that the United States had stopped those people from coming this way, which is back with the prior administration.
Even though his business model is taking migrants and moving them into the States.
The answer to that is yes, and the reason why it's yes to that is because, like he said, his main thing is to bring Mexicans into the United States, or Mexican people into the United States.
Okay, gotcha. We can turn around, guys. We'll just go back. All right, take two. I'll just be over here. So, what is the hardest part of the job?
Antes yo lo hacía.
The hardest job he's done in his job is actually walking the people past the checkpoint through the brush and stuff like that. He's done the smuggling part also. He's done different parts of this this job that he does.
What kind of money is in it?
As far as what they pay or what he gets paid?
Yeah, if he can disclose, or just give us a rough estimate of what's possible.
Well, what part though? What they pay them or what they pay him?
Both. I would like both.
Más o menos, ¿cuánto cobra?
Es que hay diferentes precios. Hay unos que te cobran llegando, y otros te piden $1,200.
Okay, right now what they're charging is probably half of what everybody else is charging. Normally they charge around $3,000 to cross just the river itself. They're charging about $1,500. They're charging half the price of what everybody else is charging.
Why?
¿Por qué están cobrando tan barato?
Nosotros tenemos, ya llegas a Houston, se te va a cobrar $5,000.
Okay, it's because they're charging by, like I said, so much to cross the river, so much to they're charging so much to go from here to Laredo, so much from Laredo to Houston, for example. So they charge it in pieces. That's the reason why just $1,500 is just across the river.
How does a Mexican family that doesn't have much money afford all of this? Their family in the States sending, or
¿Cómo
they
la
know
gente
people?
puede pagar esto si según
Ya por eso es el peligro.
Okay, what he's saying that he can't tell you for sure what people do, whether they sell their stuff or whatever. That's something he can't answer. What he is saying is how they charge by parts. They don't give the whole money up front.
Okay.
They're giving their word saying, you know what, we'll get you from here to here, here to here, here to here.
Los que ponen el dinero son los familiares del norte.
The families from up north are usually the ones who put in the money for the people that are in Mexico trying to come this way.
Okay.
Usually the people that are in transit, you can put it that way, the people that are in transit, they usually carry a few dollars on them with them for whatever they might want or need along the way.
Okay. Does he think there's anything wrong with what he does, or does he feel like he's doing a good thing for people?
¿Tú crees que está algo mal con...
Yo creo que estoy haciendo algo bueno, pero te pueden secuestrar.
He said he's doing it to help out people. Here in the United States, we might look at him as doing something wrong because he is receiving money.
Okay.
He went, if I don't do it, someone else is going to do it either way.
Okay.
He went, the thing is, you know what, going through me, it's a lot cheaper than going through someone else. Plus, they're actually going to do the job and do what they tell you they're going to do. Other people might kidnap you or something, hold you for ransom. They don't do that kind of stuff.
What's up with sex trafficking right now?
He says he can't talk in reference to that because he does not do that stuff.
So since he's in the business, he knows what's going on. What right now, like what percentage of people coming over are treated in a good way, and what percentage of people over are getting into like terrible situations like sex trafficking? Or
en tu opinión de la gente que cruza para acá?
Levantaron gente, las violaron, les tiraron.
He's heard of before of different stories and stuff. He could only tell you about stories he's heard, not anything they've done, but where someone said, you know what, we'll take you across and stuff. They charge X amount of dollars. They wound up raping those females or kids or whoever was there, and then they just wound up leaving them in the middle of the brush somewhere. That was it. So there are stories of stuff that happens and stuff, but he's saying, you know what, with him and his crew and his people, they don't do that kind of stuff.
okay.
Because at the end of the day, that's what brings them money. Their families say, you know what, these people could do it. These people could help you out. These people could bring you in.
Right.
They're cheaper or whatever.
Okay, what were the, you didn't tell me because I told you to tell me on camera. When we got out of the car, you showed me these bracelets, anklet things, or ankle bracelet things.
Actually, there's some bracelets here. I'll have him explain what they are.
Yeah, what are they?
Basically, these are bracelets that they put on the illegal aliens. They're different colors. There's yellow ones, there's gold ones, there's red ones, there's blue ones. Every organization has their own bracelet and what it stands for.
Okay.
Now I'll let him explain what it's for. ¿Para qué son estos y qué significa estos?
Estos sirven para...
He says what all these bracelets here put on the people, that they mean something. They all have a number. I can't show you that number because then they'll know where it came from.
Yep.
That number is written basically in a log with all that immigrants information and stuff, so they're able to track them, where they're headed to, where they're going down the pipeline and stuff.
The migrants have to keep that on them at all times?
What's happening, basically, once the people get to Mexico, they'll say, I guess, pues estás hablando de la otra gente que está...
¿Quién habla? Habla el encargado. Okay.
Say like a smuggler in Mexico. They brought somebody to Reynosa, for example.
Okay, Reynosa is the city right below the border.
Yes, it's a border town right here, right across from McAllen, Mission,
Yep.
Far. So what happens, they got to call and say, you know what, I got 5 people. I need to bring them down to the river so we can cross them into the United States. So from there, después que hablan a ustedes, ¿qué pasa?
Tiene que ir una persona a la base.
Okay, what happens, they send somebody to meet up with that person, that smuggler. That way they could be able to pay what they're going to pay to put them, or to give them attention or whatever, to acknowledge that they want to move somebody across.
Okay.
¿Qué más?
Esta pulsera
The way they were doing it, they were giving you basically a free pass. They smuggled on a Mexican resident into the United States.
Okay.
If they got caught, they get thrown back. As long as they had this bracelet on, and the number coincides with their books and stuff, they were able to get another chance for free. He doesn't think they're doing that anymore. Now, if you get caught, they're gonna recharge you again, whatever they're charging you to bring you across again. Because before they used to give you basically an insurance policy, saying, hey, you got another free shot. If you get caught, you got another free shot. Now, the way he thinks it is that you don't. ¿Qué más significa? Okay, basically what this says is that you've already reported to somebody in Mexico saying, you know what, I'm here and I'm trying to get to the United States. So once they put this on you, that means, like I said, you're already in the logbooks, basically showing that you've already reported to somebody. If you are from somewhere else and you're here in Reynosa, for example, and you don't have this bracelet, there could be different options that might happen to you. They could kill you, they could beat you, they could charge you a fine.
Who's gonna kill and beat?
The cartel.
What just how many cartels are there operating?
There's different ones, but it depends who catches you.
Okay.
Say like, for example, I'm from Jalisco, Mexico, for example. I come to Reynosa. I'm in Reynosa and I'm trying to get to the United States.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it on my own.
Yeah.
I guess that's why no one does it on their own. The proper way, they're supposed to report to somebody, whichever cartel or whoever, they report to somebody. Like I said, they're logged in, all their information is put in, so they're able to know what's what. In this case, like I said, if I say like I'm from Jalisco and I'm in Reynosa, I don't have this bracelet on.
Yeah.
They're gonna say, who are you? Why are you here? They're gonna question you and stuff. And like I said, from there they could fine you for, you know what, we're gonna fine you. So they might pick you up and hold you hostage until that fine is paid. Or they might beat you or something, or like you said, worst case scenario, they might kill you. Because at the end of the day, what they're trying to tell these people, you're not gonna do anything without my permission. You can't do anything coming into this city because you gotta go through somebody to be able to come into the United States. I guess that answers the question from the other day, why they don't come directly and walk on the bridge and say, I'm right here to seek asylum. They have to go through a process, and it has to be recognized through the different cartels.
Do you think, I don't want to go too long in this, but cartels are intertwined with police forces in different regions of Mexico, or that's hard to say?
Okay. ¿Piensas que los carteles están o los policías de México están mixados con los carteles y todo eso?
Sí.
He says yes.
Yes. Yeah.
He says that
Clear
the police
yes.
are mixed up with the cartels because they wind up paying them off to look the other way or to do
Right.
stuff for them.
So what makes more money over the border now, drugs or people?
¿Qué hace más dinero ahorita? ¿Drogas o gente?
La gente.
La gente.
Crossing people
Wow.
makes more money.
Wow, so that's what people, there's more competition to get people over than drugs over.
Más o menos, ¿cuánto cobran? Ok, de Reynosa a Houston, ¿cuánto?
Nosotros podemos cobrarte
I asked him how much from Jalisco, Mexico, for example, to Houston.
Yep.
He says he can't answer that question because he covers from Reynosa to Houston. Reynosa to Houston, you're going to pay a total of about $9,600
Whoa.
just from Reynosa to Houston. But that's paid in parts. Like
Yeah.
I said, to cross the river so much, from here to Laredo so much, from Laredo to Houston another amount or whatever.
Are there any times the cartels like let someone go without all the money and then they sort of like have to make payments once they get to the
escuchado
States?
rumores, I'm telling you, you heard rumors.
Yeah.
He escuchado rumores.
Yo te puedo asegurar de que esas personas.
He says very few people that will actually let you go without paying your full money at the final destination.
Okay.
You know, for the simple reason, it's happened to him before where, you know what, the promise to pay and they don't get paid. So that's the reason why by the time you get to your final destination, before they release you, you're gonna pay up what you owe.
Okay. So guys, I got one last question.
Okay.
We'll stand out of the wind here. What does Tony have to say about his profession? Is there anything he wants the world to know exactly about him or his profession?
¿Hay algo
Or
que quiere decir de tu trabajo?
Al tráfico de legales, pero no siempre hay más de este trabajo, pero no todos somos iguales.
What he's trying to say is that, you know what, at the end of the day, we're not all the same. Yes, I smuggle people, but you know what? I'm not out doing something wrong like other people might be doing as
Okay.
far as raping people, selling people, stuff like that. So not everybody's the same. He doesn't want to be classified as everybody else. You know what? He's not smuggling kids.
Okay.
He's not doing stuff like that he's not supposed to. He's just trying to help somebody come into the United States because they want to come in for whatever reason, a better life or whatever the reason might be.
okay.
Pues muchas gracias por eso.
All right, guys, another view of the border region here between US and Mexico. It's complicated. There are a lot of moving parts, and I'm trying to deliver you as many of them as I can. It's getting dark. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for the translation.
No problem.
And thanks, Tony, for being on camera and telling your story.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, that was quite interesting and a first for me. I'm sure a first for most of you. And the point I do this, the reason why I'm doing this is to bring you into a different perspective, a world that you would normally not get into. And I'm not telling you to agree or disagree. I am very much against illegal immigration. I'm not supporting it here. What I am trying to do is show you that this is a very complicated topic with a lot of moving parts. And if you watch my full series, I'm trying to hit it from all different angles. An interesting thing about Tony is, you know, I'm thinking trafficker. So what comes to mind? Sex trafficker, guy with guns that likes to kill people. And, you know, I do believe, you never know what someone is really doing behind the scenes. But I do believe that he is moving people from point A to point B. And that's his business. And he almost even had like a soft side to him in the car. You know, and at first I was nervous. I was like, you know, how often you hang out with traffickers? And, you know, what is this going to be like? And it was actually quite surprisingly normal, all of it. And the deeper I go into this rabbit hole, this border migration rabbit hole, the more confusing and complicated and difficult it gets. You know, you would need years down here to really understand what's going on. But that's just a little taster, a little teaser, and hopefully it opens a discussion. It opens a different way of thinking, perhaps. I know this is triggering content. There's no way around that. It's such a hot topic. I want to thank the sponsorship of this video, Cuts, this t-shirt company. We found each other. It's amazing because I was looking for t-shirts for like 2 years. A good one that doesn't wear out quickly, a good one where the neck stays together, it breathes well, and takes this, right now, Texas heat that I'm in. I don't have to iron it. It's legit. Get one of these if you want a good quality t-shirt. I got a link below, a discount of 15%. So if you click on my link, you get 15% off. Cuts t-shirts. They also make sweatshirts and a few other things. Thanks for watching this video. If you made it this far, you're probably into this topic. So watch the other ones. Watch the other ones from this series about the border. I got 2 more days here, and I got 3 more videos to make. It's been a wild ride. My head feels like it's gonna explode a bit because of the amount of information, new information I've received. Thanks for coming along. Till the next one. Take care. All right, guys.